Welcome to a special edition of Test Chamber on Tales of Berseria. I'm Kimberley Wallace, and this is actually a special feature today on RPG Grind Time, our bi-monthly column that deals with RPGs. I'm here with Elise Favis.
Hey.
How are you doing, Elise?
I'm doing pretty good.
Now, you played some of the demo of this. The recent demo came out last week on PlayStation Network. The game actually comes out next week on Tuesday, the 24th. So we figured it'd be a good time to look at the game and kind of see our thoughts on it. And, the Tales series has been going around for now over 20 years. And last entry was Beseria, which I wasn't as big of a fan of. I thought the characters were a little boring. I thought there was some archaic design that just held it back a little bit. So this game is a little bit different, but builds off of some of what it did in the battle system with exploiting enemy weaknesses. As you'll see here when you line up a power hit. Anytime you go to an enemy, you can see their weaknesses on there. And you try to exploit that and chain up combos with your AI, which I'm glad to report is actually really, really well done. That's one thing that RPGs sometimes, that AI, I keep thinking back to the latest Star Ocean game and bad AI, and I have nightmares. So,
well, it's good that it's good in this game, and
yeah,
from what I played of the demo, it was just a beach area and not anything crazy expansive. But what I got to try out most of was the combat, and I enjoyed the combat. And what I noticed was it's very based on combos.
You really need to line up your combos. So you have a soul meter that determines how many hits you can do, and basically you're taking enemies' souls by lining up those combos. If you start with a favorable encounter like I just did there by attacking the enemy from behind, you start with more to chain your combos up. But see, not attacking restores that, and if you stun the enemy, then you're able to get more of that combo chain going. So it really is taking advantage of what's on the battlefield and making sure you're getting the most out of your combos. You can't just button mash, because if you're not landing your combos up, you're draining your combo meter your soul meter way too fast. So
and what happens when you drain that too much?
Okay, so then you cannot, your attacks are more likely to be counterattacked, and they aren't as strong, and also enemies are more likely to be able to defend against them, which is bad for you. Right. So basically, you do not want to let that gauge run out. I don't always charge it full speed ahead all the time, because sometimes you'll see an enemy is doing a magic attack and you can cancel it out. So it's more vital to cancel out in the moment than actually do that. So we're only allowed to talk about I'm reviewing the game right now, but we're only allowed to talk about the first 10 hours of my experience with it and what kind of goes in there. And what we're playing right now is about 7 hours in, a little over that. So we have all our party members, which is important. I know one of the questions, I'd solicited some questions before this from the community, and one of them was how long do you get all your party members? I have pretty much all of them right now, except for one, I think, if I remember correctly, but I will be getting her. But within the first 10 hours, you pretty much will have your complete party, give or take.
What's your impression of the cast so far?
That's something people are very interested in, right?
Yeah.
So this is a really hard game to talk about for the fact that it is more spoilerific than any Tales game I've played before, which I played the opening for a preview I did, and gosh, it's one of my favorite Tales openings because it's so freaking dark and so much happens within that first hour and so and you go in more of it, and they really do a good job of building up Velvet for how hard of a life she had, and she really gets dealt a raw deal, and has a lot of tragedy that she speaks from, which had then one day, already having so much strife in her life, has this catastrophic event that kind of just turns her into this woman just out for revenge. They finally crossed the line of what you can do to this girl, and she's very hardened by it, and that comes across really well from the beginning. And sometimes you'll get a little annoyed with her because you'll be like, come on, Velvet, like, you don't have to be such a bitch. Like,
right.
like, you know.
Is it kind of the thing where you'd say Velvet, it's not so black and white in terms of whether she's a good or bad person? Like she's kind of hardened by these flaws.
You have a lot of sympathy for her. You also understand why she's just like, you know what? Screw everyone. I'm just pretty much out for what right now I want my revenge. And she's got a lot to deal with, like a lot of emotions, a lot of things to process. You know, like I said in the beginning of this game, this is a world where demons are running around with humans.
Yeah.
And can they coexist? Are even demons necessarily the bad ones? I mean, that's a question that comes up. You know, humans don't always do the right thing either, right?
Totally. So is Velvet completely human though? Because I noticed that she
does have a hand. So she has an event, like I said, that kind of shakes things up and changes who she is as a person, and she has part of her that is demon. That's not really, people be like, oh, that's not really a spoiler. It comes pretty early in the game, and Namco has said as much as that. You know, that hand. So I'll use the hand. No, I don't. I need 3 of her things to use the hand. Yeah. I'll show you guys the hand in a second. So yeah, there's a lot of strategies to battle. There's obviously the mystic arts, which are that Tales games are famous for, to kind of extend your combos up. Your gauge needs to be at 3 though to execute one of those, which I'm not right now. But I can show you the hand, which this is her little claw hand. And like I said, her hand is you will lose one of your souls by doing it, and your enemy will gain one, so it's a little risky, but it also heals you and gives like some other bonuses and attacks with it. So it's deciding when is the right time to use that and kind of what you want to do in the heat of battle. As I said, like Velvet, she's very interesting as a protagonist, probably one of the more interesting protagonists they've had. She reminds me a lot about what I liked with Mila, who, as people remember from Zillia, kind of shared billing with Jude, and she was one of the first like main female protagonists. And now this is, like I said, Velvet's the one who gets to head her own game, which is a nice change of pace for the series. But pretty much just like, she's not what you'd expect. She's not this happy-go-lucky do-gooder by any means. And her party members who she interacts with are pretty much like a ragtag group of misfits. Like they all have stuff. Yeah.
Definitely noticed that during the demo.
Yeah, they all have things about them
they argue a fair amount.
Yes,
is from what I get.
They all have done bad things in their lives. They're not completely 100% good, but also they have interesting, like I said, backstories and things about them that get revealed later in the game. Well, obviously, I can't go into detail, but I mean, as that is with any Tales game, like what you see on the surface is usually not all there is to a character, and I think this game more so than others kind of does throw you some curveballs and really has some good moments of character development where you're just like, oh, okay, I see how that's going. I did not realize how hard this game would be to talk and play with, but I think I'm doing okay so far.
You're doing great.
But too, another cool, like there's a bunch of cool little things they've done for this entry, like for instance, so you can send your expeditions out, and there I just got now they're exploring. So this is a good way for your cooking to get the basic ingredients and other items. So what you do is you can get materials from every place. And so there is a big pirate theme to this game. You kind of group up with this guy named Eisen who runs a pirate group, and he obviously he has a crew, and you can send this crew off as you're exploring to kind of get some ingredients for you, because like with any Tales game, cooking is here, and cooking is a great, like, you don't have to tinker with it too much. It is just a good way to give yourself some bonuses, as are still early in the game. So like you can have her cook this where, it'll trigger if someone's HP is under 75%, it'll recover that, and you can have those on hand and be able to use them in battle to help you. So like she'll do it, and she can just auto cook these with the ingredients that I have now that I have them on control. So it's a fun little thing just to keep sending them out on expeditions, give you something else to kind of tinker with as you go on. I will say, like, this battle system took me a little bit to wrap my head around, not because it's like hard, but there is a lot that gets introduced to you, and it gets introduced to you really fast. as in you're like, did I just grasp what the last thing was?
Right.
Like,
I remember that in the demo too, when just in terms of the tutorial modes, this is just a lot of reading. And a lot
yeah,
of, like,
it is
okay,
a lot.
this does this, this does that. And
I wouldn't be discouraged if you're like, I don't exactly get it right away, because it really just takes experimentation. And like I said, the best thing I can offer as advice on that is just make sure you're comboing up with enemies, paying attention to weaknesses. Don't let your gauge run out.
Yeah.
Make sure, that you're blocking. I know people sometimes like to abandon the defend button. Don't do that, because that can actually save you. Because when you defend against an enemy and I got a dangerous encounter here, so I'm at a disadvantage to enter the battle. But it's not the end of the world. Just less souls to start with.
So looking at the first 10 hours of this game that we can talk about, what's been the most striking element or the thing that's impressed you the most in comparison to past Tales games?
Sure. I think, like I said, I really do like this darker Tales kind of adventure. Ooh, I got stunned there. Because of the fact that it's not, you have so many where it's just this guy's just good at heart. Well, I'm going to die. Maybe I'll show you guys a mystic art because I have able to do it. You want to kind of chain up your combos for these a little bit before you... Oh, now I'm going to blow it. Oh, no. Oh, well, there's a mystic art from our AI, which I told you the AI was decent.
Thank you, AI.
Let me just use an item really quick. Oh, okay, this is not good. I'm stuck in a rock, so, that there. I'm going to use my claw here to kind of get me through this, and then there's my mystic art. Never doubt the K-dubs. Yeah, the battle system's pretty fast, too. I like that. I really like Zilia's, which came... Zestiria kind of was a little slower than Zilia's. Zilia's was super fast for me, and I like that. I like being able to have that movement on Battlefield, and also, but this like I said, you can't just sit there and just button mash or not think about what you're doing, but all the face buttons are arts on this, and you can kind of assign your arts based on, and you don't have to tinker with this too much. I have mine set to semi-auto, so the game kind of helps me with it, but you can also set this up so just you'll see where where certain buttons will lead, and if you keep, like I said, you want to use arts as much as possible because learning on them kind of helps extend your soul gauge as well and gives you extra bonuses. So there's a lot to process with this game, but I would say I am impressed by the cast and just what kind of is going on in this world. I find, like I said, the whole thing with demons and exorcists really interesting for this entry, and the enemy designs
Definitely sounds darker.
Yeah, and the enemy designs are actually a lot more interesting than past. I mean, this isn't the best example of the area we're showing off here, but as you go on, there are some really creative designs and kind of matching that darker tone appropriately. So see, if they're guarding against you, it's not going to extend your gauge, but if you get those power hits, it really does help. So yeah, I think that's the thing. Velvet's just really cool. I like the cast of Misfits. The equipment system is, people always ask me about this because it was a little confusing in Zestiria just because there's a lot to keep track of. There's also, let me see if I can get us to a town here. Actually, I went the wrong way. Just so I can show off a little bit about what that is. It's similar to Zestiria where you can get weapons and then you could decide if you want to keep upgrading them or ditch them for something better. And so from the beginning, you have to kind of decide how you want to build your characters and which skills you want to focus on. So we'll go in here.
Is there much to do in the town, or is it mostly just to
there's
go
a little
here
side quest you can trigger. It will tell you can do this, and you can talk to this person. A little bubble will appear.
Okay.
So there's some to unlock. I can also show off. Oh, good. We're in a good spot here. There's the merchant over here, which I can explain a little bit about the equipment because it is a more detailed equipment system. Sometimes I think maybe it's a little too much for its own good, but we'll show. So you can dismantle old weapons that you pick up in battle. Okay, and how effective you are in battle and what kind of grade you get kind of determines what gets dropped. So I'm dismantling all these right now because they're not as good as what I have.
Right.
So just show you really quick because this will show more what we can do. Nope. Okay. So then you can enhance your stuff. So now I can see how I've already like improved his weapon. Well, now I can do it even more, adding more power, adding, more to his magic and attack. But also you have skills that each weapon has. So a master skill, an enhancement bonus that you can unlock, and then a random skill. So like each weapon, even with here, shows you the possibilities of kind of what you can get out of it, and then your characters can master them. So it really is, do you want to stay with the same weapon? Do you, after you build it up a little bit, but maybe you find another weapon that has other skills? Honestly, it's not a make or break system. There's a lot of room for, experimentation in what you prefer. But it is very similar, I said, to what was kind of started in Zestiria, which I know people had mixed emotions about. I'm fine with it. Like, you get into a groove and it's fun to kind of just keep going and improving weapons. And also it's kind of cool too. So let's see if I can go to your equipment here. Let's see, is there some... All the weapons show up differently on the characters, so you can kind of see
I like that a lot,
see the different. Yeah, it's just a nice little touch. Also, as is great with all the Tales games, is yes, you can put crazy things on your characters to dress them up as you please, and you will. Here's a funny one. So she can be this for the entire. Wait, no, it gets better.
That is.
So that's fun. It's just something the Tales series has always done, is like you can dress your characters up. Actually, I had her in that, and there were some really serious scenes that were going on. I'm like, I can't do it. I have to change her back.
Does anyone react to your clothing style?
I didn't really notice anything, but it's just more of something fun you can do, and kind of just like, keep your character how you want. If you want to change her outfit, if you want to change her hair. I mean, there's options. Like, and you unlock that as you go in with little mini games. But
and you can do that for each of your party members?
Yes. Okay. You can go as crazy as you want. Also in this game, what's really cool is there's a lot of bounties you can take and big monsters you can fight. So maybe we'll try to fight one of them. But you kind of turn them into people, and these are, different guys who are going to be more difficult. Obviously, it is. You get good spoils from it. You get extra bonuses. I like doing them everywhere I go, because there's always something new to do. Lisa, I can maybe show you off a mini game really quick too. There's also there's a lot of different like little small things to do. I can't talk to her because I'm not allowed to. Is this going to
be like a drinking game thing?
No, it's just like, okay. So there's all these little games you can play.
Are there several of them?
Yeah, there's card games. I mean, there's different stuff. So here I'm like picking out. Okay, wait, I gotta get from customers. Okay, she wants a peach pie and a pudding.
Diner
okay.
Dash.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, and you can do this to get extra costumes for your characters. It's nothing that matters really for anything, but it's just fun to do in its own right.
Each minigame have like different rewards that you get?
You get these coins, which you can then... Oh, I don't even remember what he just said. Oh, God. Oh, wow. Okay.
Hey, you did it.
I did it anyways. Okay, let's remember this. Fruitcake.
Yep.
Banana pie. Fruitcake.
Yeah.
Banana pie. This guy wants the fruitcake.
Oh, yeah.
But you get to keep kind of like the costumes with this. So, I mean, it's just... There's fun little things to do in the world if so you want to. So, see, we got coins, and then those can be spent for... crazy little costumes, like, okay, item exchange, here it is. So I could put like noise canceling headphones, angry glasses, whatever you kind of want as you get the coins. Like I said, we're still pretty early in this, so I don't want to get too far ahead of us, but like I said, it's a hard Tales game to talk about because there is so much in the way of spoilers. There are some like crazy things down in the plot later, but I really think it's pretty interesting. I feel like the cast is definitely a step up from Zestiria, which I thought was more bland than I would have liked. I just couldn't get into them, and I like not having a do-gooder protagonist.
Yeah, I think I'd prefer that as well.
Not to like sound like a broken record on anything. And I'm trying to think, like, I'm like, there's so much. I guess that we'll try taking on one of the stronger enemies if I can remember where it is. Let's see.
Sounds
and I'll
exciting.
Probably die, and I'll probably, like, Whoa. No,
come on, dude.
I'm not ready. No.
Thank goodness you stopped running.
I was like, whoa. I'm just trying to figure out, like I said, the map could be, here's a little bit of what the map, like, you sail around to these different places, and then you're on foot traveling. So That's pretty much where we're at. But I feel like there's somewhere here that was going to show me where to go. All right, I think if we go up, we can actually get a side quest in maybe. But yeah, what were your kind of impressions from the demo outside of just dealing with the battle system? I mean, is basically...
I think my biggest impression really was that I thought the cast was really interesting. The combat seems fine, and it seemed fun. Like I liked the idea of chaining combos together.
It does what, like I said, this game, if you're a Tales fan, it is what you come to expect. I know a lot of people call the Tales series comfort food at this point because you kind of know what you're getting if you're a fan and you've played them. This is a stronger enemy, so this was part of a side quest that, whoopsie, he's guarding, so that's not good for me. Oh, hey, man. Nice. I put that cowboy hat on him. He doesn't come with a cowboy hat or eye patch. He looks
good with it.
I know. I was like, you look pretty good with this. I'm gonna do it. It's fun to mess around with that.
For sure.
Whoa! Oh no.
Oof.
Oof. Oof is right.
Rough.
I'm gonna use my apple gel. The AI is good with healing, by the way. I'd rather him focus on attacking the enemy than worrying about healing my punk ass right now.
Now you're on a roll.
Now I lost a soul in that. Whoa, dude, calm down. I am sorry. You can always switch to other characters if you want, and they all do kind of have their own fighting styles. I stick with Velvet because I still always feel like I'm figuring out stuff with this battle system. Like, I'm gonna be honest, even after the 10 hours, you're still learning things. New elements are still being introduced.
Plus, if you say that the AI characters can take care of themselves well,
I don't ever feel I feel like I want to master that one character and kind of stick with that. But there are some times I will swap just to change things up, or because I feel like at a certain point you will get extra party members, and you can switch between them on the battlefield as well. So sometimes if Velvet's low on health, I might switch to someone else. So as I was saying, so far it is very much, it's not a huge leap, from what we've seen from the series. It's more refining elements, trying a few different things, adding some fun stuff into the equation. And I think as it stands for me anyways, I feel like this is definitely a step up from the last entry. It's a story that keeps making me shows another revelation. I'm like, well, now I got to keep playing, and I think that's good.
Great. Yeah, that's
there
great.
is some, like I said, some pacing issues in the beginning. Like, if the game starts off with a bang, I mean, it is very dark, and then it slows a little bit to get you in the groove of things. But other than that,
and plus, there definitely seems to be enough lighthearted tones to kind of balance
the skits are great. Unfortunately, we can't show you any of those, but it does have a lot of party bonding, of just moments. Like, in typical Tales fashion, they will get into arguments about stuff, about who likes dogs or cats better, and it's it is what it is. And there's always those funny scenes and bonding moments, which so much make it. And also, like I said, character development is great.
That's good, and
that's always a big thing with these games. So. Oh, I can also show you those little souls that you collect on the battlefield. You take them to these chests to,
cat's box.
Yeah, get these spirits out. And that's actually also how you get some of your extra things that you can dress your characters in. Just another fun thing to do and collect while you're on the battlefield. Mm-hmm. So, but anyways, I think that's a pretty good look at the game. And, like I said, Tales of Berseria hits next week on January 24th, and look for a review of it on our site next week.